We're here with the Parallax Elev8 quadcopter. It's all finished, and in this final installment of this build we're going to show you how to program the ESCs, how to set up the HoverFly board for final flight and configuration of the copter, and a little bit about the Lipo battery pack and its charger. Welcome to Hack-A-Week. So we're here with the Elev8 all built up, sitting on the bench, waiting for some batteries and final hookup. Here are the Lipos that I got with the Elev8. This is the charger that I also got from Tenergy. It's this is the TB6B Synchronous Balance Charger Discharger. Fancy name. What it basically does is make sure that your Lipos are charged properly and you don't end up ruining them. It keeps the cells balanced. And it will also charge and discharge numerous other types of batteries, which we will go over shortly here. So let's go to the overhead view and we'll go over what this charger can do for your Lipos. So here's everything laid out. Here's the battery again, and it has two sets of leads on it. There's the positive and negative lead, and then there's the monitoring lead that helps this device make sure that these batteries get charged properly. So I've got this one hooked up now, got it plugged in here, got the leads connected, and let's power it up. And I want you to see that screen, so I'm going to zoom in a bit and we'll tilt it back so you can actually see what's going on. There we go. So let's see, let's go through the modes here first. If I push the mode button, you'll see that we've got different program selections: Lipo battery, nickel metal hydride, NiCad, lead batteries, and then there's some more things there that you can save and load data and program the charger. Let's see, we'll go to the start menu, and there's the amperage that it's charging at. If I push start, you'll see that flashing. I can increase or decrease that charge rate, the amps. Over here I can change the voltage, and I've got it set right now to the 11.1 volt setting, which is what these batteries are. If I press and hold enter, it'll go into the automatic battery check mode and determine what type of battery it is, and there it is. So I'll hit enter, and that's it. It's charging. And we'll come back to that a little bit later once it's charged up, and we'll get everything hooked up. We'll connect up the HoverFly board, we'll go over that, and then we'll use the Tenergy programming card to set up the electronic speed controls, or the ESCs. Now we're going to program the ESCs. We are going to do that with a programming card because it's so much easier than doing it with your controller. It can be done with the controller, but hey, spend the 10 bucks and buy the programming card. It's available on Parallax. This has to be done in a particular order, and follow these instructions and you'll be just fine. So you connect the negative lead of your main battery to the power harness. Don't connect the positive one yet. Now let's plug in one of the leads to the BEC connector. Make sure you get the polarity right. That's the battery eliminator. Each one of the ESCs has a battery eliminator, and it will power the programming card, and it will also power up your receiver. We'll go over that a little bit later. Now what you do next is you connect the main power. You hear the motors sing. You see the lights light up on the programming card. I'll zoom you in a little bit closer now so you can see a bit better what's going on. This button here will move down through the various parameters. The left-right button will select various parameters. The OK button will load that onto the speed controller. So let's move on down here. The brake we're going to leave set to off. Okay, battery type we'll leave on Lipo battery. The cutoff type, soft cutoff. the cutoff voltage. We're going to set that in the middle. The start mode definitely on normal, not on soft or very soft. I want the motors to start right up when you hit that throttle. Timing mode, we'll set that in the middle. And as far as music goes, we don't want any changes to any of the music, so we're just going to set this up where it's basically blank. And then we go down to the governor. That's off. Now we'll hit OK, and it is now taking care of that one. That's it. Now this needs to be done for each one of the ESCs. So let's plug in the next one, connect up the power, and we'll go through all this one more time. The brake is off, battery type is Lipo, cutoff type soft cut, voltage cutoff in the middle, the start mode normal, timing mode, we want that in the middle, music we'll leave alone, governor off, hit OK. That takes care of that one. Now here's something important to note. Here's the wiring diagram. There's the Lipo battery branching out to all of the ESCs, and then those get connected to the motors. And right here you'll see that you connect power from a single ESC to the HoverFly Open to power the receiver. So you're just going to leave one of the connectors with all three of the leads connected. The other three can be any three of them at all. You will disconnect the positive lead. See how that works? So let's go ahead and take care of that. Okay, pretty simple procedure here. We'll just pick one that we're going to leave alone. Let's say it's that one. That's going to be the one that supplies our power to everything. We're just going to go in here and snip the red lead. Go ahead and leave a little bit so that later if you ever want to resolder this back together, you can. Anytime you cut wires on a connector, it's a good idea to do that. Leave a little so you can always repair it later if you need to. Okay, that takes care of that. We have the ESCs programmed. Now we need to calibrate them, which is calibration for the throttle. I have a separate battery connected to the receiver, and the light's on right now, which means it's in communication with the transmitter. Transmitter is turned on. The power is disconnected from all the ESCs at the moment. Now I'm going to take one of these and connect it to the throttle channel on the receiver. So let's do that. We have it connected to the throttle channel. Now we're going to move the throttle control to full. Now we will power up. Hear that beep? Now we move the throttle all the way down. Hear 3 beeps, 1 beep. That's it. That one is calibrated. And we'll move on to the next one. We need to do this for all 4 of the ESCs. So let's do it all over again. Plug it into the throttle channel. Throttle all the way up. Power on. 1 beep. Throttle all the way back. 3 beeps. 1 beep. All done. Move on to the next one. Now you can also, at the time you're doing this, label these so you know which one is which. We'll need that later when we plug it into the HoverFly board. Next up, we need to update the firmware on the HoverFly board, and we need to configure the HoverFly board because there are various configurations of the way you can set up this thing, whether or not it's 4 motors, 8 motors, 6 motors, X configuration, plus configuration, all that stuff. So here's the website for HoverFly. Really cool stuff on there, by the way. We'll go up here to support and downloads. That's the first place we're going to go. And what we want is software updates. So we'll go there. Let's go to the HoverFly firmware update client. We'll go there, click install. We've downloaded the setup. Let's click that, and we're going to load this on the computer. Everything's installed, and we've fired up the HoverFly update client. This is the start screen. We'll click Next. Agree to the license agreement. Click Next. Now we need to select the board up here, and I'm using the HoverFly Open. Now we need to select which mode we would like to fly in. And there it is. There's the Y6, X, Octo, Plus, X8, Hex. And we are going to select X because that's the way I have my quadcopter set up. Now we need to plug it in and see if it's going to connect or not. We may need to download the driver, but let's find out. Looks like it's loading the software, loading the driver. Still not connected. And there we go. Now it's connected. Let's click Next. We'll select a hardware version, 2.0. We'll click the flash button. There we go. We're updated. Updated and set up for X configuration. It's that easy. We have the HoverFly Open User's Guide opened up on the computer. You can find this with just a Google search for HoverFly Open PDF, and you'll find a place to download it. Now, once we are here, we need to take a look at how to plug this thing in to the HoverFly board. We need to know where to plug in all of our ESCs and just how they will be configured. And right here we have the various configurations, and we have the X configuration right there. And we'll move along. Here's the configuration for X, a little bit closer view of it. These are the pins, looking at them on the side of the HoverFly board that says ESC port. So it's pretty obvious the way that it's set up right here. This being the front of the craft, and then each one of these is color coded. You look down here and you see the color code to where they plug in. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Now you have to pay attention to the polarity. That's also marked on the PDF. It's color coded. You'll see it there. Just make sure you get the positive and negative and signal set up properly. Basically, as you're looking at the board, the negatives are to the left. Negative, positive, and signal. I need to mount the battery in here. I get the supplied Velcro strips put in here. Pretty simple, just run them through the slots. There are two of them. We'll put one on each side. And when we're through with that, we'll mount the receiver also. And we'll do that over here. The battery's mounted. Let's get the receiver in place here with a little wire tie. Okay, now we're all connected up to everything. Okay, receiver is connected, Everything is all hooked up, batteries mounted in place, and we are just about ready. We have a few more things to work out here, one of them being set up on the radio. And the most critical one I'll show you here on my Orange RX DSM2 T6. Your radio may be a little different. You need to go into the travel adjustment, and we need to go to the gear, and as you see right here on the gear, oops, it's at 25%. That's in the down position and 25% in the up position. When I switch it, you'll see that little arrow change. That's a good place to start, and that's the gain control. And if you go to the HoverFly website and look up the video tutorials in the support section, there's some really great tutorials there all about this, and they'll take you through a whole lot more than what I have done here in this video. But let's go ahead and get this thing powered up. So first thing we do is turn the radio on. If you don't turn the radio on, it'll do weird things. So radio on, then let's connect our main power. We hear 3 chirps and then 1 chirp, and we're good to go. Now it's time to arm the HoverFly board. To do that, you take the rudder stick, move it to the left once, you'll hear a beep. Move it to the right, you'll hear 2 beeps, then it will arm. But you need to disable the altitude hold, and you do that with your gear switch. So we need to flip the gear switch into the off position. I'm going to show you what happens if we don't do that. So I'll try to arm it. Hear the beep. And if you can see over there right now, it's not ready to go because I didn't have that disabled. So we're going to turn the gear off. Flashes a few times red. That's it. It's green now. We'll flip that back, and if I give it a little throttle, you see that the props spin. Okay, the next thing to make sure of is the direction of rotation of the props. So let's move on to that next. Okay, here's the page for the X configuration, and you can see here that one needs to move counterclockwise, CCW. That one moves clockwise, this one moves counterclockwise, and that one moves clockwise. So we'll just put that sheet right here for reference. Now let's give the throttle just a little blip, and we're going to pay attention to this one over here. And it is indeed moving counterclockwise. Okay, so that one's okay. Let's move over to this one. This one needs to move clockwise. And how lucky am I that one is moving clockwise. Of course, this is all totally by chance that this is working out right, because I just connected those wires. As you saw in the other video, lots of people asked about those 3 wires coming off the ESCs. Let's move on to this one. This one needs to move counterclockwise. And it's moving clockwise. So what we do now is we get down in here and figure out which one of these ESCs is the one that comes out of that boom, and I already have it all buried down in here, and there it is. Now all I need to do is take any 2 of the wires on that ESC and switch them, and it will go the other way. So first thing I'm going to do is disarm the system. Okay, I switched those 2 wires. Let's arm the system. Solid green light. Now let's check the rotation on this. It should be counterclockwise. And indeed it is. Now we have 1 more to go. This one should be clockwise. And it's moving counterclockwise. So I have 1 more to switch the wires on, and then we'll be ready for a bench test. Okay, that is switched. Now I want to show you a little feature of this. If the throttle is moved a little bit off from idle, when I power up, here's what will happen. That's letting you know that the throttle is raised up. If I put it back to idle, there we go. Now it's happy. So now I can arm it. And this motor should now spin clockwise. And indeed it does. We're ready to bench test this baby. We've got the Elev8 set up here in the garage on a bench held down by some bungees next to the motorcycle project, which is on hold for a little bit. Got a few other things I want to get done first. Okay, let's fire this thing up and see what we get. This thing is supposed to be able to lift 2 pounds. I might be able to get a little bit of lift off the table against those bungee cords. We'll find out in just a second. Let's power on the transmitter. And power up the Elev8. Blinking green light, we're ready to arm. Blinking red light. Steady green light, we are armed. Okay, let's see what we get here. Well, it's trying to lift off there. Let's try the yaw control at about half throttle. Things act a little weird when it's strapped down because the gyros and the accelerometer is expecting something to happen that's not happening, so it acts a little strange. Now let's try the elevator. That's down. That's up. Okay, so that's working. Let's try the left and right. Left. Right. Well, there we go. I think it's time to take it out in the backyard and see what we get. GoPro time. Wow, what a blast. This thing took a little while to build, but it sure is a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed following along, and I hope this helps you out if you buy one of these from Parallax, or any quadcopter for that matter. Everything you've seen me use here in this video is available on the Parallax website. Go check them out. And until next time.